Okay, we're finally wrapping up week 5, and this video is about what we're going to do this week in class. So this is the 10th video and the weekly assignment. There are 4 steps to it, and this week we're going to change things around a little bit because I want people to understand how to interpret effects by first creating them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create data that contain a linear, quadratic, and cubic predictor for a dependent variable that also includes a significant moderator. And you'll see from what I've done previously, but for R users and SPSS users, it doesn't matter. You got to understand what I've been doing. For R users, do not copy my code. I want you to create your own. And you can do it a variety of ways. The way I've done it isn't necessarily right. It's just one way. And in fact, the way I've done it creates a little bit of a problem for testing very simple linear, quadratic, and cubic coefficients. So I recommend that you try something slightly different. Second is I want you to test a polynomial model with both observed and transformed polynomial contrasts. Okay, as you saw before, I used the standard predictors. I created variables of x and x squared and x cubed. That's the observed model. Transformed is that I have polynomial contrasts, and I'll show you later that I actually have our users will see that you can use the poly function, but in SPSS I have links down here to show you how to do those contrasts. So that's what I want you to test. Then the third thing I want you to do is test the moderation model. So include the moderator and make sure you specify moderation on all of these effects. And then finally, I want everybody to be able to interpret the coefficients. And you need to make sure you understand what each of those coefficients means and what it is communicating. So to make things simple is you want to make sure that you do mean centering and that you understand how each one of those coefficients can be interpreted. And what that will do is that's building on everything that we've touched on this week. That if you can do both the linear components, that allows you to test for a very simple moderator where you can do simple slope and simple intercept, and you can plot these things. And that's why I want you to interpret. Now, step number 4 requires you to plot them and to consider what those coefficients are, how to interpret the direction of them, where the moderator affects the total relationship, and also how everything that we've talked about up to this point leads you to certain decisions based upon these results. Okay, so while I'm having you focus on these nonlinear effects, there's a linear component that also has a moderation effect. So you need to interpret that. So I'm asking you to interpret the more complicated material that's at the tail end of this material here, of all of week 5. And the reason for it is everything at the end includes everything at the beginning. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in class. We're going to create data. We're going to do tests of non-moderated and moderated effects, and then we're going to interpret the coefficients for all of them. So you're going to test for rectilinear relationships as well as curvilinear relationships. So I'll see you during class, and we'll talk through each one of these. So stay tuned, and also make sure you come prepared with some questions. And if you have some questions about what we've been doing so far or anything about this week's readings, I'm happy to take them during the first half an hour of class. So I look forward to seeing you. I'll see you shortly.